I pay a lot of attention to what's going on in environmental sustainability. In most of the places that we live, if you even reflect back 10 or 15 years, the climate literally is changing.
There is no planet B.
And I believe that my kids, when they're adults and when they're actually at a point in their career where they can make a difference, it will be too late to have made a difference.
For Ryan Popple, business is personal.
Regardless of where you work, I think you've got to be asking tough questions about what are we going to do to actually solve this problem.
The co-founder and executive director of EV startup Proterra is determined to usher in the age of clean energy.
The technologies are now largely in place to solve the climate crisis.
And for his part, he's focused his crosshairs on a sometimes overlooked contributor of carbon emissions: buses. Buses and freight trucks combined comprise about 30% of the world's carbon emissions from the transportation sector. Replacing internal combustion buses with e-buses is well in the works, and electric buses are poised to take over half the world's bus fleet by 2025. But there's one problem. Almost all of them are in China. As of 2019, China had already amassed a fleet of over 420,000 electric buses. Europe was at just over 2,000. The United States, about 600. Today, electric buses make up less than 0.1% of America's public transportation fleet.
So now we got to ask ourselves, well, if China was able to get it done and eliminate 200,000 barrels of oil per day by switching their bus fleets to electric, then we ought to be able to get it done as well. The problem, though, is that we will not see the political will or consensus in the United States or Europe to quickly move away from fossil fuels to clean technology. The good news is that while diesel buses have been getting more expensive, 3 to 4% per year, electric buses keep getting cheaper and they keep getting better, and they're a much better user experience. We want to win using market forces and be completely independent of whichever way the political winds are blowing. After college, I served in the US Army, and that's really what transformed my view around energy security. Just seeing how volatile some parts of the world are, in particular parts that we're very much dependent on for fuel production or petroleum supply. Every day the world needs about 100 million barrels of oil. And so that is absolutely an unsustainable situation. The answer to energy security is going to be finding alternatives to petroleum. It's not going to be trying to produce more petroleum.
After his tour of duty, Ryan went to business school and landed himself a job at Tesla in its early years.
My reason for being at Tesla was not because I was a sports car enthusiast. It was because of the clean tech aspect of what Tesla did. You cannot solve the congestion problem simply by making cars cleaner. A big piece of the sustainability story around Proterra is the benefit of mass transit. This was a way to get clean EV technology into the absolute mass market right now and not wait for electric cars to be cheap enough for everyone in the economy to afford them.
Today, Ryan heads the charge for zero-emission battery electric buses in North America. Manufacturing its own vehicles in facilities in California and South Carolina, Proterra has sold over 900 electric buses to transit agencies throughout the US and Canada, based on the promise of lower operating costs and less noise and pollution than diesel buses. The company says its city bus can go about 350 miles on a single charge, over twice the distance of an average city bus's daily mileage.
Throughout the EV world, the best products are going to be those products that were purpose-built and designed from scratch to be an electric vehicle. We make our own chargers, we make our own battery modules, we make our own packs. We vertically integrate into any technology where we find that the existing supply chain isn't good enough for where we're trying to go from a performance basis.
To make the cost benefit more attractive to local deficit hawks, Proterra has innovated a battery leasing program, allowing cities to go electric at the same price point as a standard diesel.
When you buy a diesel bus, you don't pay up front for 12 years of diesel fuel. That would be hundreds of thousands of dollars of capital expenditure. So what we do is we break the battery out of the cost of the vehicle and then they pay for the battery over time like it was the fuel. And that's enabled a lot of cities that might not necessarily have the capital to make the switch to be able to do so now.
Proterra is already moving beyond city buses to electrify other types of large vehicles. They've recently begun delivering electric school buses with their partner Thomas Built Buses. The company has secured over $500 million in private investment to date, much of it from automakers, which seems to vindicate Ryan's pro-business approach to sustainability.
Technologically, we are at the moment where we can start really scaling clean energy. Solar, wind, energy storage, energy efficiency, electric vehicles, charging stations, these are the high growth industries of the 21st century. If investors can make better returns investing in clean energy technology, then it really doesn't matter whether or not you convince anyone that it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do.